Oh, I'm always panicking when I hit that button. All right, let's make sure. Oh, I did it. Finally. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Sky Lounge here on Airline Videos Live. Look, the Brady Bunch is back. We're just missing just one. Almost a complete package here. But what a show we've got for you coming up. All right. Well, look at this. We've got executive producer Brad Ward right to my side. Nick with Jet Tip. Gabby, one of our great mods. Hello, Gabby. First time on the show. And of course, you guys all know Smee there in the middle. And Brandon is with us as well. And of course, Rudy there on the bottom. And our special guest, Isaac Alexander, with the editor-in-chief of Jet City Star and Hype Aviation. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right. We are starting the show, as always, with a little performance by Rudy. And since we found out that the happy birthday song is no longer copyrighted, we can basically play it on every single live stream, correct, Rudy?
That is correct. No copyright issues here, and I'd like to dedicate this to all of our March birthdays. So if you're celebrating your birthday in March of this month, go ahead and let us know in the chat, and I don't know. Should I
sing?
What that
means, though? I think we're going to have to do this every single month now. So
Probably.
Next month in April, we're going to have to, sing happy birthday to all the April birthdays, which would be included mine as well. So, all right, Rudy.
And our very own Gabby is celebrating her birthday on the 12th. So this one's for you, Gabby.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you.
Excellent. Well, I didn't know Rudy was going to sing that. I thought he was just going to play it.
I didn't either.
Bonus.
You don't get that anywhere else. Mm-mm.
Nope.
That's what we're all here for, is happy birthday.
Unique in the aviation community.
All right, everyone, make sure that you unmute your mics. I always tell them you got to mute your mic as we go into the show because we play that music and we don't want to hear any other sound. So I think we're all good. All right, again, if you guys are just joining us, this is Sky Lounge, our little talk show here on Airline Videos Live, and this is your chance at home to interact with us as well. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat, and we will do our best to get around to it as well. Now, included in today's show, just like our last Sky Lounge, is our Platinum and our Diamond of the Month live giveaway, where I spin the wheel and we give out some gift cards to our awesome members here on the channel. Of course.
But Kevin, before you do that, did you see our friend Jan? I want to make sure that doesn't get too far beyond.
I've got executive producer Brad Ward literally on the show now, so now Brad doesn't have to text me. He can just be like, "Excuse me, I'm Mr. EP over here." Yes, Jan always supporting the channel. Back again with an amazing tip here on the channel. Jan, thank you so much. Hello from Chengdu. I missed yesterday's show. I was flying to Shanghai. You are my friends. My birthday is March 10th.
Oh,
well, perfect. All right, real quick,
like
Rudy. Just do it just a little bit. And
Happy
let's sing
birthday to Jan.
Jan. Happy birthday, Jan. Thank you so much. Don't worry. There's another show tomorrow, Jan. You can watch the big show starting at 7 a.m. right here on Airline Videos Live. We're always live. Don't worry. If you miss a show, it's not the end of the world. Jan, thank you so much. All right. Well, if you guys are just new to the channel, this is something we do every month for all of our Platinum and the Diamond memberships. And what is that, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. So the Diamond of the Month will receive a $50 one-time store credit to all merchandise on airlinevideos.com. And the Platinum of the Month will receive a $25 one-time store credit to everything on the store there at airlinevideos.com. And I got to tell you, there is a lot there. Have you guys checked out the store recently? Even flip-flops and shorts. Plane spotter flip-flops and shorts to go with those awesome shoes as well. So best of luck to everyone. Are we all ready? Let's cue the...
Ready.
Let's cue the game show music, because that's what we do best. All right, let's add the wheel here. I'm so excited you guys get to do this with me. All right, so for the legal, this is the live drawing here on March 5th, 2022 here on Airline Videos Live. All right, so this is the platinum wheel, and I'm going to spin this wheel, and whoever lands, be the lucky one, will receive that $25 one-time store credit. And I am so sorry, Isaac, I'm blocking you out of the screen. Anyway, let me just put that up one more time. This is the platinum of the month, and then I will take that away. All right, because I want you all to be able to see the wheel here. All right, are you ready?
Give it a good spin.
All right, here we go. Who's it going to be? Spinning, 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 spinning. And by the way, thank you all who are members of the channel. We couldn't do this without you. All right. I didn't play the spinning wheel music there. All right, who's it going to be? Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Got a lot of money riding on this, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
Joseph.
Joe!
Finally,
Joe.
right, Joseph? Wow. Wow, congratulations. All right, so Joe. Write this down so I don't forget, because Kevin forgets everything. All right, congratulations, Joseph, one of our great mods as well. Long time viewer, long time supporter of the channel. All right, let me reset this.
Joe is in the chat.
He is in the chat. Is he like just
He just
screaming
responded
with joy
with
right now?
what?
All right. All right, I think we got the wheel back up. All right, so now this will be the Diamond of the Month drawing here on the wheel. All right, let me add the wheel. All right. All right. Let's spin that wheel. You guys all ready? Spin it, spin it, spin it, yes. All right. What do you think? What do you think? Could it be Andy Powers? Ooh, Andy just missed it. Look at this. If this is Becky, she just became a diamond member this week. Becky.
Congrats.
Wow, congratulations, Becky. Way to go.
Awesome. All right. So now both of you, Joseph and Becky, you need to email us. Go to airlinevideos.com. Literally on the top of the page is the email link, and send us all your info. Of course, I know Joe very well, so I know for sure. Joe emails, it is Joe. So Becky, go ahead and email us your info, and we will send you your $50 one-time store credit to all merchandise there at airlinevideos.com. All right, round of applause. And we do that every month. So if you didn't win this month, continue to be a member here on the channel, and we will do it again. All right.
So there
That was
was some
exciting.
concern in the chat about a mod winning the Diamond of the Month. So I'll just let you all know that these results have been audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers and have been determined to be completely fair and accurate. The wheel does not lie.
Trying to get us sued, Brad?
I mean, all fairness, I mean, Joseph has been a long-time viewer,
Oh, yeah.
long-time supporter of the channel, long before he was even a mod. So
Well
I mean,
deserved.
Yes,
Well deserved.
Yes. And
Yes, absolutely.
all right, so again, we do that every month, and of course, all of our members. I mean, we were adding benefits to the membership tier. I mean, just this past week, now, if you're a member of the channel, you now get a discount at the H Hotel if you're planning to come to LAX. And Plane Spot with Rudy and I, go hang out at the H Hotel. Got a good discount, a good parking discount as well. So that's included in all the memberships here on Airline
Hey,
Videos
Kevin,
Live.
Becky is in the chat. And
Oh, she
has
is.
acknowledged her big winning.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
This might be the first time we've had both winners in the chat.
I think so.
That's
I
very
think,
cool.
yes.
That's
and
pretty cool.
And Mary writes with a $2 tip, also one of our YouTube members. Thank you so much, Mary. Says, my birthday is March 10th, Mario Day. Wow, look at that. Second March 10th birthday. Well,
Awesome.
happy birthday.
Oh, I get it.
Happy birthday.
Mario. Haha.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, MAR10. Very clever. Took me a second, too.
All right. Yes, Nick.
I'm just gonna say I'm excited about that H hotel discount. That's a big deal. That's not an inexpensive place to stay, or park for that matter. So any little bit helps.
Yeah,
there. It's
the
a fantastic
the
place.
parking alone is a huge deal. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
one thing I did mention it yesterday, and I didn't really mention it on Thursday, is the views from some of those rooms overlook LAX. I mean, you can sit in your room all day long and just watch the planes come in and out in the comfort of your own bed.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I want to
Windows,
go ahead, Isaac. Sorry.
depending on how clean the windows are.
That's true. Although I have
after the
heard
wind
that
today,
that's
I
better
don't
on
know.
the H side. So,
I mean,
Anyway.
the reason everyone goes there is to go up on that beautiful roof deck that's on the top.
Well, of course, yes.
and I want to. Oh yeah, and I want to make sure that like we cannot talk too much about the parking discount, and I'm trying not to make this a commercial, but y'all need to understand parking around LAX is very expensive, very expensive. And what this has done is basically made the H a place that you could go and stay for a trip all around Southern California and not just right there at LAX, because the parking is now reasonable. So it went from $42 a day to $20 a day, and $20 a day for Los Angeles is actually really, really good. So if you're
Yeah,
thinking
good,
about
yes.
going to Southern California, or you've got people in your family that want to go but they're, I'm not too keen on the whole plane spotting thing. Why do we need to stay at an airport hotel? It's because it's actually kind of reasonable now, and you get the bonus of being able to go up on the deck and stuff. So keep that in mind. That parking deal that's not nothing. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I don't have my hand in this cookie jar. I'm not getting a kickback on this or anything. But the H Hotel truly is an amazing, spectacular place, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. I think I've done 4 or 5 trips there now, and I can't wait to get back in September for Spot LAX and Dorkfest.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. I mean, that's a pretty big spotting weekend. And now all the spotters coming into town can now use this discount and save some money. So, perfect. Start booking now. Absolutely. Nick, so obviously everyone's been talking this past week about the Antonov and the fate of that great plane.
Hold on, time out. I just want
Mr.
everybody.
Mr.
This
EP's
is the
got a-
executive producer.
Yes.
I would just like to know, for everybody in the chat to know, we are going to talk about the Antonov one time. This is us talking about the Antonov. We're not going to talk about the Antonov or the war or Ukraine or anything in the chat. Please be good to our mods and make their lives easy. Let's talk about this airplane and the magnificent airplane it was, and let's leave it at that. We will move along. So please.
And Nick, real quick before you do that, I just want to, because I'm gonna fall back here. Let me just acknowledge some of these tips that are coming in
Absolutely.
before we get
Acknowledge
into
those
that. Mesty123 back with another tip here today. Says, "May the force be with you." May the force be with you. Mesty likes to throw all these quotes from movies. I can't figure out which one that is from.
I think that's Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, Star Trek, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
It's airplane.
Airplane, yes. Sanad is all's good with a $20 super chat. Also, one of our great YouTube members. Did I say your name right? No, I don't think I did. Really, Rudy
Sananda.
Sananda. Gosh, why can I not get that through my head? Thank you so much for your awesome support. Finally able to renew my membership. Happy to be back. Well, welcome back. I didn't even know you were gone. Well, welcome back. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Christopher Cotton with a $10 tip, also one of our Diamond members. Sorry we couldn't get the Sky Kitchen premiere segment going on today's Airline Videos Live Sky Lounge, Kevin. I'm looking forward to next month's launch. Here's the background. Now, Christopher is coming up with a Yankee Tangy barbecue sauce, and he wanted to share it live on the air today. And he was trying to send me the file. We just couldn't get it to move fast enough. So I said, Christopher, still send the video file. So the next time Yankee Tangy comes to town, I mean, that could literally be any day now, we will show Christopher making the official Yankee Tangy barbecue sauce.
I think that means there's enough time to get samples sent out to all of the regular panelists.
Yes, I
So
think
Isaac,
so.
do you understand what the Yankee Tangy thing is? Okay. Yeah. So this is our best inside joke at Airline Videos. So Kevin was having a Kevin day and was getting tired and worn out, and the Lufthansa Retro 747-8, which is Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee Tango, started rolling in, and Kevin called it Yankee Tangy on the air. And it has taken on a life of its own. It is now the sweetest, spiciest German plane you'll ever see.
Yes.
And we have to call it Yankee Tangy every time it's around.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for that clip. I want to see that clip again. I can't find it.
You know, you're right. It's one of those Kevin moments. I think I called Rudy ready last night on the show.
Yeah.
I said, just add it to that list of names for Rudy. Now he's ready.
So Kevin, there was one more too. I think
Yes.
it might have slipped past you. Mina P, I guess renewed as a diamond, perhaps.
Oh yes, Mina. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that one got shouted out.
Thank you so much, Mina, a longtime viewer and supporter as well. Thank you so much, Mina. And Jan back with another super chat says, what happens to the Aeroflot plane if they don't allow the plane to fly out of LAX? I'm going to LAX or Paris. Boss will tell me. Actually, interesting enough, we were out there last Saturday plane spotting with our friends Amy and Jamie out at the parking garage, and there was an Aeroflot 777 came in from Moscow last Saturday, and we actually captured that video, and I was going to post that because officially that was the last Aeroflot 777 to come into LAX, and lo and behold, we captured it last Saturday. So look out for that. I think there was one more, right? Oh, speaking of Jamie, and Jamie the photog. March 14th for me. Didn't think I'd see 46. Well, congratulations, Jamie.
That is an inspiring story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Can we do, Rudy, real quick? Jamie deserves a little happy birthday.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's throw one more in there real quick.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jamie. Happy birthday to you.
All right, happy birthday, Jamie. It's good to
There's
see
a
you
little
guys.
special sauce on that one.
Yes, we'll see you soon up there at SFO. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to those candid shots that Amy got of me at the hill. I can only wait to see what those look like. All right, I think we're caught up. Real quick, our friend Andy Powers, Andy and Sammy there in the UK, a member for 9 months as a Diamond member. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
Hi, Kevin. I'm so happy to be here for 9 months as a Diamond member, and I just ordered 2 more models now, a United 787-9 Dreamliner and a Condor Airline 767-300, and you guys are awesome, and the mods as well, and I love being here. Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy. Boy,
Thank you.
you got that
And a
model
big shout
bug,
out
that
to
is for
Sammy,
sure.
who hopefully she's feeling better soon. 'Cause,
Oh, yes.
Yes.
She had a little bit of a fall, but hopefully you're on the mend there. So good.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. All right, back to some serious news here. Nick, you actually have quite a connection to the Antonov.
I do, well, and specifically to the Antonov 225. And of course, we were talking about the largest, the superlative that it still qualifies for, I believe, was the heaviest aircraft that was flying. And I don't know if you can pull up that screen I've got ready to share there.
Absolutely.
Get a visual of it. That is the aircraft that we were all sad, and I'm sure if you're interested enough in airplanes to be watching this, you've seen pictures and news coverage from the real world discussing how this aircraft has now been destroyed in Ukraine. And of course, the human tragedy and all of that is more important than the airplane. But with that disclaimer out of the way, this is a very important airplane to many of us, especially to me specifically. I caught wind that this aircraft was coming to Minneapolis in 2014, and it was the first time I ever went out to watch airplanes. I don't remember exactly how I was looped in to the information on this. Somehow I caught wind that this Antonov was coming to town. And this picture is from my first time ever going out to watch airplanes. And it's a very good memory that I had. Me and my kids went out, and I had been a big railroad photographer before that. And some new kids meant that I could no longer be devoting several days a week or a month driving all over, chasing trains around. And so I sort of fell into a groove watching airplanes instead. And boy, what a cool airplane to get started with watching airplanes. The Antonov AN-225 is, or I guess was, a unique aircraft. 6 engines, 6 engines on there, 3 on each wing, as you can see, and just a really cool, unique-looking aircraft. This was developed by the Soviet Union as a way to manage logistics for their space program. In the 80s, the Soviet Union was developing a space launch system similar to that of the space shuttle. And in order to make the logistics work over there in the Soviet Union, they needed a large aircraft that could carry the components from the various factories where the rockets and the vehicle were being manufactured to where they would actually be launched. And the answer to that problem was this aircraft. It's very cool. And quick comparison, comparing the AN-124, which is on the top, that has 4 engines, to the 225 that's on the bottom. And it's pretty easy. When you look at them side by side, you can tell that the 225 is, in fact, a stretched version of the 124. They just gave it bigger wings, some impressive shoulder blades, an extra set of engines, and that split tail. And otherwise, you can tell they're very similar aircrafts. The fuselage dimensions and so forth are the cross-section is the same. So anyway, very cool.
And it was
aircraft.
built to carry the Buran, right?
Correct, and the other various components that were also I don't recall of specifically if it was using U.S. space shuttle terminology. It would be the rocket boosters and the main fuel tank also. It was designed to carry all of those components from where they were produced to where they actually needed to be launched within the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and I think the shoulder blades were to let the Buran rest on top of the fuselage.
Yeah, there's all sorts of cool bumps and bulges up on top, various anchor points for the spacecraft to be on there. And anyway, this arrived in summer in Minneapolis in 2014. And of course, I was a very new AvGeek. This is from a couple days later, my second trip ever to the airport to watch airplanes. And we had bad weather in Chicago, and we had a bunch of cool diversions coming in. So an Atlas Air freighter, Dash 8 747 is very unusual here at Minneapolis. And of course, there's a United 747 there also. Again, another very unusual airplane. So I got diversions on my second ever trip to the airport. It was very exciting. And head-on view of that, you can tell that is a big, impressive airplane.
Crazy.
And another thing that's interesting when these airplanes come to town, anytime an Antonov comes to town, the airplane enthusiasts will turn out. When the 225 would come to town, this would bring the whole town out. There were literally thousands of people on hand to watch this aircraft depart Minneapolis. It had been picked up by the newspapers, and it was a big deal. There were a lot of people there. There were on all of the parking ramps. It was a beautiful night, and I can't help but think of all of the people who made very nice memories there that day, watching airplanes with their families, and being inspired by just the engineering marvel that it is and was. And it certainly put me on a trajectory to be interested in aviation. And frankly, if it wasn't for the Antonov AN-225, I wouldn't be here chatting with you today. Jet tip, which is now my full-time job, would not be a thing. It was a very important defining moment to my life, and I'm sure to many others also, of getting to see an aircraft like this, and this one specifically. It was very cool. So, yes,
Again,
I have
Nick,
a deep...
what year was this, real quick?
This was in 2014.
2014, okay.
Yeah, and so this aircraft, it would have been in town. It was delivering a large crane, construction equipment to help build the new NFL stadium that was being built in Minneapolis at the time. And then it left with some air conditioning equipment, I believe, that was going to a stadium in the Middle East. For when you need to have an open stadium and air condition it at the same time. Apparently that's what that was being done for. So
Interesting. Wow.
yeah.
And some people might be wondering, why was this airplane in the Ukraine? And they don't really know, because we tend to think all of aviation over there is generally Russian, but Antonov is actually a Ukrainian company. So all of these 124s that you see at your own local airport or flying around, and the 225, were all built in Ukraine, and it's the Ukrainian company. So they're obviously operated by mostly Russian airlines, but all the construction, Antonov was established in the Soviet Union when the Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, and it remained a Ukrainian company after the Soviet Union dissolved.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing to people who might be unfamiliar with that, but yes, the registration will help sort that out for you very quickly. You are being Ukrainian, and then Russia uses a whole variety of different registrations, but usually on the Volga, the Dnieper, AN 124s, those are going to start with an RA registration. So anyway, obviously there are bigger problems out there now in the world, but the loss of this aircraft definitely affected me on a personal level, just because it was such an important thing to my interest in getting involved in the hobby and getting involved in the community. Yeah, if it wasn't for that airplane, I don't know. I honestly have no idea what I'd be doing right now. So,
Wow.
So here's to the Antonov AN225.
Quite the story there, Nick. Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick, just take a break for a moment here. Don B, one of our awesome Diamond members as well, with the $7.87 tip to the channel, says, hello, Sky Loungers. Can't wait to make a trip to the H soon. And we'll all see you in Phoenix, March 14th for me. Uh-oh, another March birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
How many?
Yes, we'll be in Phoenix this coming Wednesday and Thursday for back-to-back action there in Phoenix, Arizona. Should be an awesome temperature-wise in the 70s, so perfect time there in the Valley of the Sun. We're looking forward to it. All right. Isaac, you were by the way, you were holding up an awesome-looking model there. That was...
It's a 124.
There we go.
Correct.
And the Antonov house colors even.
Beautiful.
I actually got this from Antonov themselves a couple years ago.
Wow. Wow, amazing.
So I'm very appreciative of them, and yeah, I'm just all the pain and suffering they're going through right now. I wish nothing but the best for all the people and stuff over there.
Yes.
But yeah, great model.
So who are you, Isaac?
Yes. I was going to toss it to you. You're editor-in-chief of Jet City Star and Hype Aviation. Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, kind of quick history about myself. I grew up next to SeaTac Airport. My dad was a police officer there, so I've been had a view of the SeaTac Airport most of my through the late 70s through the 90s, watching it or seeing 3/4 of the runways. Kind of for me, like what Nick was saying about the 224 is personal to him, is a Concorde was my first, could you say, geek event that was actually happened by my house. My entire hillside was filled with people when the Concorde took off for the first time ever at SeaTac Airport in November of 1984. And it was doing a trip to nowhere. Kind of just went off to took off from SeaTac, went over the Pacific Ocean, broke the sound barrier, and then just kind of circled back to SeaTac. From there, and then kind of my aviation career kind of took off, you could say, when I went into the Navy in 2004. I became an aviation mechanic on F-18 Hornets, and then later on, my squadron converted over to Super Hornets. And then 2010, got out of the Navy, and I knew I wanted to stay in aviation, so I kind of came up with a brand of Seattle was known as the Jet City in the Seattle area, and then I saw the Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' rocket company of Amazon. So I created the brand name of Jet City Star, kind of to cover everything of aerospace. And for the last decade or so and stuff, came up with that social Jet City Star for social media, mainly on Twitter, and then on Instagram and Facebook, covering everything of aerospace, below the Kármán line and beyond for things. And then just recently now and stuff, I've found a partner, programming partner who is just awesome, and he created a new aerospace news aggregator website called hypeaviation.com, and covers everything. So if you want a daily, open up your web browser and just on a tab and refresh it throughout the day. It's partially automated and partially edited by me. to give you. So if you were as a global reader can get caught up on everything that's happening in aerospace across the globe, just go to this site and you're set.
Yeah, and you guys had some new news coming out of there in Seattle there as well. And we were talking about it, that this is kind of happening at a lot of airports around the country as well, right?
Yes, this past week, it was so great to be able to attend public events and stuff again. Even if we're still masks and stuff, it was still great. SeaTac Airport just had a major infrastructure projects that have just come to pass and stuff this past year. Earlier last year, we had the North Satellite that's mainly Alaska Airlines, giant terminal. Brad can probably correct me. I think it's like 20 gates and stuff for that.
It is 20 gates, yes.
On the north side, and then on the south side is the South Satellite is our international terminal, and while that's been renovated and stuff. But the big thing was the International Arrivals Facility is the actual technical name that just opened up, and we just had the governor of our state there, as well as Delta and Alaska and Emirates came and spoke performances. But this, boy, if you're flying internationally to Seattle. Boy, I am very proud to show this to have this locally here. Being that the existing facility was built in was almost 50 years ago when it was built.
Wow,
Desperately needed an update, and now and stuff when you take a 10-hour flight, you land at the South Satellite, and then you walk up the escalator to this giant sky bridge that's as long as the Space Needle is tall of Seattle.
Wow.
And it's just the gorgeous views. You look to the north, you can see the top of the towers of downtown Seattle. You look to the south on a clear day, you can see our local volcano, Mount Rainier, 14,000 feet volcano and stuff to the south. And it's a nice way to unwind after being in a plane for so long, to have these glorious views, both on both sides of you. And then you come down the Sky Bridge into those kiosks and stuff where you do your declarations of what you're carrying with you, and then you go down the elevators, you grab your baggage there, and then you go through the final customs queue, and then you're good to go. The space wise, it kind of reminds me of the entering of I don't know how many of you have visited Denver International Airport, that the queue line kind of space there. This kind of space is more rectangular versus that's more square, but it's kind of the general flow and stuff of everything is just great. And it was just a great event and stuff this year or this past week and stuff. So I'm really happy for it. And then as well as, besides SeaTac, I saw that also Kansas City International Airport also had an unveiling for one of the news stations there published it this week. Right. So we're having this, we're finally, United States is catching up with the world, because the world, you go to Singapore being the top international one airport, it just kind of blows every other infrastructure airport away in the globe. But you have other ones that are popping up here that are suppressed. Our last new airport, it was Denver International Airport, clean sheet design in 1995. So the United States airports are finally catching up. And LaGuardia being the other one decided to demolish everything and then rebuild. So
and look at everything that's going on at LAX. I mean, that whole airport is, construction everywhere. And San Diego, they're redoing basically their whole terminal layout as well. So it's definitely happened at a lot of airports. And you're right, it is well overdue, way overdue. So excellent. And just double check that website, everyone. It's hypeaviation.com, or the hype, let's get hyped. Or you can check out Hype Aviation on Twitter, also Jet City Star on Twitter. And we'll mention that again at the end.
Yep. And then for my Jet City Star, it's just not, I don't have a website for Jet City Star. It's just look for Jet City Star on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Good.
So Isaac and I know each other a little bit, and one thing that I thought was just fascinating here. So if you really want to go down the rabbit hole in airlines, and this, and not just the operational side, but how they run their business, his website is probably actually really, really good for you, because he has pretty much every public company involved in aviation he tracks, and they actually have listings for when their earnings are. And all that kind of fun stuff. Is that right? So
the calendar and stuff I have here is on the site. So right now it's just two things. Right now it's a news aggregator, but also it's a calendar. Why calendar? Because a lot of news. The calendar focuses not so much on air shows. Air shows are traditionally just performances, so there's not really news breaking on them. But your conferences, symposiums, forums, earnings calls, that's where the actual news and stuff breaks. So that's why we chose to do a calendar. My partner inside for it. We have over 600 events now, stretching out all the way to 2025 now for events and stuff for things. So it's just it's amazing just how many things in aviation, defense, and space that are happening and stuff globally. And I have at least 30 that I still haven't entered just because they haven't announced dates yet, dates and locations stuff for a future event.
Cool.
For things. But just getting involved. Trying to like I said, the focus of this is commercial aviation, and there's plenty of news and stuff that's happening globally and stuff, especially this past week and a half with the conflict with the war, and then the subsequent closing of the airspace and stuff for things. It's trying to keep up with it is quite the task.
Yep. It is, absolutely.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And real quick, our friend Andy. Andy. Back with another. Well, this is the first tip. Sammy says thank you for your wishes and made her smile. Well, there you go. I hope you feel better, Sammy. Thank you so much, Andy and Sammy there in the UK. All right. Let's talk to Gabby. Gabby, I think your mic is actually on mute still. If you unmute it real quick.
And
I'm here.
And Gabby is joining us from Mexico City.
Yes.
Buenas tardes, Gabby.
Buenas tardes a todos. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hello.
I am Gabriela, Gabby, whatever. Happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
Awesome.
Glad to have you here, and thank you so much for being one of our awesome mods on the channel. So, obviously, the one question everybody always asks: where did your love for aviation come from, Gabby?
Well, yeah, it's a story that happened a long time ago. I had always wanted to be a flight attendant because I love the planes. I can actually be on a plane for hours and don't get bored and don't be afraid. And I don't get afraid of anything. Yeah, so I can stay there. So actually, when I travel, I don't want to get off the plane because I want to continue traveling on the flight and whatever, right?
Very nice.
So I wanted to be a flight attendant, but I've always had this issue of, like the weight. It's very difficult for me, like, to lose a lot of weight. So all the airlines, the Mexican airlines wanted that, you to lose weight and to be, very slim. And they wanted me to lose like 20, 25 kilos or more. So I got motivated at that time because I was like maybe 20 years old to 20 something. Yeah. So that was the time for me. And even though I had contacts in the aviation industry, because my uncle used to insure some of the corporation of the flight attendants. He had some contacts, but even with those contacts, I couldn't be a flight attendant. So that was like something that I really, really wanted to be. Yeah. So that's how my love for aviation came. And what can I tell you? I love the planes, all the planes, inside, outside, taking off, landing, the sound, everything. So
basically, what you're telling me is that I think there's a little bit of delay, but what you're telling us is that you wouldn't mind the 16-hour flight on the Emirates A380. Is that what you're telling us?
Exactly. Yes, I wouldn't mind that. Of course not. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, that makes one of us.
Excellent. Yeah. And you guys in Mexico City, you have this really awesome cafe right there next to the airport. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, definitely. I discovered this place on Facebook, like in the year 2019, 2020. And it was awesome because I couldn't find a place where I could watch the planes, not directly the takeoffs and landings. I used to go to the parking at Benito Juárez International Airport. but it's not permitted. After everything that happened, during New York and the Twin Towers and whatever, the World Trade. So it was difficult for people, for the spotters and for the people that enjoy watching planes, to go to another place. There was not like a special place for them, like to watch this, no, the landing and the
Right.
take off. So they used to go to Puente McDonald's, the bridge that is next to McDonald's, there near the airport, to watch the planes, but it's not enough. So this coffee shop that is Skyline Coffee is in the middle of Terminal 2 of the international airport. So it's exactly in the part where you can see all the planes taking off and landing. So they pass like here, yeah, like very
Yeah.
near. It's a coffee shop, kind of a small place to have snacks or to have maybe hamburgers or pizza, whatever, and the food is delicious and it's not expensive. It's very nice. I can go there and stay like many hours. I mean, I don't want them to close. So I arrive like maybe 12 o'clock, well, Mexico time more or less, 12, between 12 and 2, and I leave at 8 o'clock. Well, my mother and I, because my mother shares with me all these like kind of excitement for aviation. Yeah, so she enjoys very
Excellent.
much going with me, and it's a good place for the family to go. The kids
Yeah.
like it very much, and the service is very nice. The attention is good, so you can stay there. I mean, the whole day. There's
Yeah,
not
no,
like reservation or whatever.
Yeah. No,
So,
we
Kevin-
need to get down there and do a live
Yeah.
stream there at some point. Yeah,
You got
absolutely.
me
Vamos.
sold. Yeah, that's
That's what I was going to
definitely.
say. Yeah,
definitely.
I
Please
really,
come. Yeah.
yeah, I really
Yes, you are
urge
going to
people. Like,
love that. The place is wonderful.
yeah, you really need to look them up
That's
on Facebook. And just in case there was any lag or anything there, we're talking about Skyline Coffee. That's SKYLINE Coffee. They're on Facebook and they're across the street from the airport there at Mexico City. Now, it's funny because if you go on YouTube, there actually are live cameras sort of pointing at the airport on YouTube from Skyline Coffee. Not that great. It's not airline videos. But they do. The owners of Skyline Videos will broadcast occasionally from their rooftop deck and show all the planes coming and going, and not just for the variety of traffic, but just the location that the thing is in. It's fantastic. And the people that are in the chat there are very, very friendly. I've talked to them a little bit, and it's really impressive what they've got going on down there. And they make little airplanes out of the foam in your latte. So if
Oh,
that
man.
doesn't just seal it for you, then I don't know what will.
Okay, I'm
Gabby,
going.
let me ask you, do they have
Copy and
Biscoff? They have Biscoff there
And
at the Sky
hamburgers,
Lounge?
too, they are starting to have them. Yeah.
The hamburgers,
Oh, sorry.
yes. Well, you had me sold.
Well, if I could say
Yeah,
something,
and the hamburgers and the plane.
Go ahead,
Gabby,
Brent.
Gabby would be the perfect flight attendant. Any airline that takes a pass on you and wants you to do all that, they're missing out because I said it in the little chat right here, but your personality and your spirit and your enthusiasm, I would love for you to serve me Biscoffs on any plane, and you would make a 16-hour flight to Dubai well worth it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
I agree.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, you really have this spirit
Yes.
of being like that.
Absolutely.
That well, too late for me, but well, I try to do the same. My students, I'm a teacher, so I try to do the same. And I try to be in the chat today. Well, to support airline videos and to practice, because they don't usually practice listening, so it's necessary. Thank you, Brandon, and everybody.
Excellent.
Cool.
All right, real quick, Al Slim, one of our Diamond members of the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. So nice to see everyone in the Sky Lounge. Got to run a dinner, by the way. If I win any drawings, haha, I donate it back. Owned, flew, and repaired enough aircraft to last a lifetime. Well, thank you so much, Al Slim. We appreciate that. And you will take that $50 one-time store credit, and you will like it, and you will buy those flip-flops and shorts and shoes and all that.
And then send us pictures.
Yes, exactly. All right. So Smee, also one of our great mods. You've had Smee, you know, on the show many, many times. Great supporter of the channel as well. Smee, how is life up there at SFO?
Oh, first, it's great to see you all. It's great to be back. Hi to all of our fantastic viewers. It's been really cold here at SFO. We've gotten some rain, a ton of wind, and so it hasn't been ideal spotting weather the last week or so. So it's good you're not out here this week trying to film, trying to stream.
Well, I mean, if you watched last night's show, I mean, it was not cold when we started, but it was extremely cold there at the end. Poor Rudy, I think he was an icicle by the end. But yeah, the winds were just blowing just everything in the air. So
when
my allergies were messed up.
Yeah, today was even.
Yeah. I mean, we're right outside of LAX. I mean, obviously, the Lufthansa 747 just did a go-around, and we were doing our practice stream, and I can see the arrivals on 24 right. And I saw the tail end of it, and I saw the go-around, and I burst out and said, "Oh my gosh, go-around!" So for the Lufthansa 747-8 to go around on 24 right, you know that the winds out there are just powerful right now. So,
and if we disappear,
excellent.
that's because why?
Oh yes, you know the line of internet might just disappear on us. All right. Brandon, we will get to you because we're actually going to talk about models with you, and we have a lot to talk about with that. But real quick, Brad wanted to bring up something that's asked a lot in the chat. What is
Brad?
Arnav Docker? Arnav Docker, what is that?
Yes.
Arnav Del Rey.
Explain it to our...
Okay, so
Yes.
everybody get comfortable because we got a little bit of learning to do here. Okay. So let me share my screen here. Okay, where am I going with this? We do get the question a lot.
wait, I don't have your screen.
I'm working on it. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking and trying to switch at the same time. I'm no Kevin. Y'all be patient with me. Okay, can you see my screen here? I am loading up on FlightAware. This is United Flight 2611. Okay, this is the reason I chose this flight is it departs in 38 minutes, so it's kind of what's going on right now. And this is a fairly simple explanation or a fairly simple example of what I want to explain. So this is a flight from LAX to San Francisco to SFO. You can actually see, when you see this line here, and you're like, that's not a straight line between LA and San Francisco. That's because that is actually the filed route that the crew will follow, that the flight will follow. And you can actually see that route over here. Now, you'll notice there's no LAX and there's no San Francisco. You get to add that on the end, beginning and end yourself. So the route today for this flight, and virtually every single time that this flight operates, is LAX, the Summer 2 departure to Stoked, direct to Surfer intersection, and then the Surfer 4 arrival into San Francisco. The departures and the arrivals are ways for the air traffic control and the pilots and the dispatchers and everybody to be on the same page about essentially taking a wide swath of traffic from all over the place and narrow them down into a path or a stream that the airport can handle for arrivals. And the same thing with departures. Rather than just having people take off and blast off wherever, and you create all these traffic conflicts, the flights from busy airports will almost always use these departure procedures. So what we want to do here is we want to first look at the Summer 2, which I pulled up, and that is pro tip here. Or amateur tip, if you just Google the airport and the procedure, so Google LAX Summer 2, one of the first results should be this plate or this chart. These charts are issued by the government. The airlines will either use charts that are issued by the government or issued by a private company, most notably Jeppesen. Almost always the airlines are using Jeppesen charts. it's got the same information. It's just displayed in a way that's a little easier for crews to use. But here we are. These look familiar. Here's Delray, here's Docker, and here's Hyper. We never hear Fabra because most of the time airplanes aren't taking off on 2-4 right unless 2-4 left is closed. So, but the two we're most familiar with are Delray and Docker. So they've loaded this into their flight management system. And let's say they're going to take off on 2-4 left. They're going to take off heading 251 degrees to Docker, where they will turn slightly to go to any. And they're basically just following this path. And there's different altitudes that they need to follow. And then here's the Stoked intersection. That's what they're heading to. If you remember, we're looking at our example. It's the Summer 2 departure and the Stoked transition. So they're going to head up here to Stoked. Now the question is, what do they do after that? Well, they're going direct to a waypoint called Surfer to join the Surfer 4 arrival. So where on earth is Surfer? And your friend to help you with this is a website that I like called skyvector.com, which is basically aeronautical charts. And you can actually come up in here and you can type Surfer. And the map actually took me to where Surfer is, but I can't see it. Why not? Because if I look up here, I'm looking at a visual flight rules chart, and Surfer is not a visual flight rules point. I need to click on this en route chart here, because this is better for high altitude waypoints. Lo and behold, here's Surfer. And for some context, here's Stoked. Oh. So they're going to fly this departure procedure to Stoked, which is again right here. Then the airplane will go direct to Surfer. And then they'll fly the Surfer 4 arrival. And that's, again, you just Google SFO Surfer 4, and you'll see the arrival procedure. And I'll just put it briefly. Essentially, it's the track that the flight is going to take. When they get to Eddy here, you'll see landing runways 28 left and 28 right. You can say Northern California TRACON will assign a landing runway. So ATC will tell them what runway they're going to land on. And then all of these procedures, the last thing I'll say for now, is that all of these procedures actually have this description box where they explain what the crew will be doing. So it's not just a pictorial, but it's actually a description of what those flights are going to do. And then it says, you're going to go 329 degrees to cross Eddy at 6,000 feet and at 240 knots, and then expect an assigned instrument approach to runway 28 left or right. So, in short, that is how United Flight 2611 is going to go from LAX to go to San Francisco. And you can see that Docker or Delray or Hyper or Fabra are just the very beginning of that. When the controller says you are RNAV Delray, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff, all they are doing is reminding the crew that they are going to Delray to pick up this departure to head out. Because here's the problem. Let's say that they're parked at the gate and they load this in, and they think they're going to take off on 25 right, but they actually take off on 24 left. The controllers want to add that one last note of clarity to make sure that the plane's not going to blast off and the crew's going to try to head to Docker. Right. So they want to make sure that that's all clear for everybody. Everybody's on the same page. That's the most important thing to maintain safety in aviation, is that we're all on the same page. So I know I talked fast, and this was just a very brief overview, but all of the information that is out there to show routes and things like that, it's all publicly available. All you need to do is search for it, and you too can maybe go in here and just try to peck around and see how these different flights are filed and routed, and it's actually kind of interesting. The end.
Wow, very interesting. Very cool.
Thanks for sharing.
And now this,
Brad, that was amazing.
Oh, wow. Now this is all programmed into, is it called FMS before they actually pull back from the gates?
Yes. So it's alternately described as the FMC or the FMS, the flight management system or the flight management computer. Now, that being said, and actually it's interesting, somebody just popped up in the chat with this, Axel did. In reality, any pilot should be able to do all this by hand. And that's why some of those things like the headings and the distances and everything like that are all listed on that chart. the what goes in the FMC is really just a way to unload that workload off of the pilot's shoulders, and make it so that there's a line that they have to file or follow, and they see all the points go by. But when they go through all their training, they're learning how to do all that by hand. And literally no autopilot. They're going to fly. They're going to fly the profile altitude wise. They're going to fly the headings, and they're going to fly it exactly right. And then the automation is again just to reduce that workload. That's why that's happening when they load it up in the computer.
That's amazing. And real quick,
Very interesting.
Isaac does have to take off at 4:00 here today, so I just wanted to say thank you so much, Isaac. There with Jet City Star. Your mic is actually muted, but again, he's editor-in-chief of Jet City Star and Hype Aviation. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very, very much for having me. Honor and pleasure and stuff to join. I'd love to.
Yeah, thanks for coming,
come
Isaac.
back again if you have me.
Yeah, you should come back.
Absolutely, and we'll see you this fall too for
Absolutely.
the Spot LA and Cranky Dork Fest.
Spot LAX and Dork Fest, yes.
Excellent. All right,
Awesome.
Isaac, thank you so much.
Have a good one, Isaac.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Take care, Isaac.
All right, bye-bye. Well, Brad, that was interesting. I'm watching the chat. A lot of people thought that was amazing. Some people are saying there's going to be a test at the end, which
There
got
is a
my
test at the
anxiety
end.
up.
Okay, but
My
you want to know where
anxiety level.
this
Yes.
is where it gets really interesting, though. I won't go back to the charts and everything, but the reason why I'm employed essentially is because there are time limits on some of those procedures, and somebody's got to make sure that we are doing the right procedures based on noise abatement and things like that. So it gets really interesting and it's slightly convoluted, but also really fun.
Another aspect of that's a little bit interesting is if you're ever out, perhaps if you live near a major airport and you glance up, you'll notice that the aircraft are always following a pattern in the sky. Perhaps there's a couple of different patterns they'll follow depending on which way the wind's going. But generally those patterns correlate very closely with those waypoints that are on those charts that you just showed. And yes, that's kind of why you notice aircraft flying in the same parts of the sky over and over again. And another cool trick you can do is if you have a computer program that is watching where airplanes are flying, you can predict where those airplanes might land based on whether or not they hit those intersections or not.
Yep.
That's right.
If you're
Well, that kind of used to be the case here at
with
LAX.
some computer programming, yeah, that's But yes, having done that myself, that's how I got learned about the star approaches and things like that. Was trying to predict when airplanes might land at an airport.
Yeah.
So,
That's kind of what we do when we're out there. And we've had a couple of our viewers come up and visit us, and they glance over at the radar, and they're like, how do you know what airplane's going where? And kind of along those lines, we kind of know, for the most part, what the patterns are. Of course, sometimes that can change.
That changed a lot during the pandemic. Because pre-pandemic, if a plane was actually north of LAX, it more than likely landed on 24 right. And certainly with the lack of traffic, they were able to kind of bring the approach a little bit farther out along downtown and then kind of come to the south. There was too much traffic before the pandemic to even do that. So things have kind of changed with that a little bit. And real quick, our friend Randy Schwartz with a $2 tip, also one of our YouTube members, says, moving to the big screen. Great lounge. Well, welcome. Now we're on the big screen. How do we all look? Makeup, please. Thank you so much, Randy. Appreciate that.
Oh, and I guess one more
right.
thing I should say about that too, by the way, is just to round this up, is like I gave you very specific examples about like the summer departure and the surfer arrival. If you want to see your arrivals and departures at your airports, go to airnav.com, AIRNAV.com, and just put in your airport code. And if you scroll down, at some point on that page, it'll actually have the instrument approach procedures for each of the runways, and it will have all the SIDS and stars, or the standard instrument departures, the standard arrivals for those airports. And you can have a blast figuring out where someone's coming from, or rather, what airport they're going to, just like Nick was saying, based on where they are. And when you become familiar with those stars and the SIDS, it's good stuff.
That was one of the first things that I was really interested in as I was really curious about aviation. How do planes know where they're supposed to go especially on a cloudy day. How do airplanes make it to the airport when they can't even see the runway from up above? So it's all really interesting.
Real quick, our friend Mike with a tip, also one of our YouTube members, says, I'm sorry I'm late to the show. Just wanted to say that today is my 65th birthday. Don't know if I should laugh or cry. Well, first of all, happy birthday. And
Happy birthday.
you've come on the right day because we're actually singing happy birthday.
Yeah.
Let's do it one more time, Rudy. One more time for Mike.
Mike wasn't here for the first three.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mike.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Mike. Thank you so much for your awesome support, as always, on the channel. All right. Well, should we move down to Brandon, who's going to be, he has Brandon and his models. Brandon, you have yet another model. This is a 1 in 200 series, correct? What is it?
Well, I actually had one coming in the mail, but it won't get here till I think after 7. And now I went ahead and I got the Delta Team USA
you did.
livery. Yeah, that won't be here till later. So I have 2. So this one right here, I actually have a pilot friend who works at United. I told Kevin about this not too long ago.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Oh,
This
how
is
jealous am I of that?
The ANA 787 and the R2D2 livery. So that was one.
That is amazing.
I don't know who that was.
Amazing,
It sounded like I was Brad, but
But wait, now there's a background to this model. This is not a model that you can just buy at the store. This was an actual model from ANA, right?
yeah. So shout out to Brian. Apparently he was a dispatcher, I believe, for ANA, or he did something with the air ops. And how he told me is that I guess when he retired, they awarded, they blessed him with this model. And so I met him. I met him 2 weeks ago. We stay in touch, and he said his wife only lets him have 1 to 2 models on his shelf. So he reached out to me and he said I could have it. I said, hey, I gotta give you something for it. He said, no, just take it because my wife won't let me have any more models.
Wow.
So I said, okay. And so he blessed me with it, and I'm glad to have this one.
Lucky you. Oh, Jeff and Moss is saying that
Is that
JC Wings made that model in 1 in 200 scale.
Is that
Let
a
me
1 in
guess, Jeff,
200?
you can only find it.
Yeah, this is a 1 to 2. Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
No, yeah, go ahead. It's a 1 in 200, right?
1 to 200. It's not a JC Wings. It's a plastic base, but I'm not sure who makes it. But it's wait a minute. It's well, no, I'm not really sure who makes it, but it's on my. It's on my
it's beautiful. It's perfect. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
And even more special, it came from ANA themselves.
Yeah.
All right, but you have a box, big box.
I have a box.
Wow, look at that.
I have a box, and what I did, I took the model out already, so I went and ripped the box. But, so this is the Etihad by In-Flight 200 in the A350-1000. We know this is Kevin's one of Kevin's favorite airplanes, and it's one of my favorite ones as well. So here's the model right here. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
Wow, gorgeous.
Yeah, so there's a lot of detail in this, and it was actually, I think it's the last one, and yeah. So if anybody saw it on my Instagram, I already posted it, but this is it right here.
So this is going to be controversial for all the old Etihad fans, but they are one airline where I feel like they actually did something really good with their livery, like for transitioning from one to another. Like most seem to be just kind of, well, degradations in quality from my own perspective. But when I saw that, especially the ones that are multicolored, like the green one, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. It was really well done what they did.
I agree.
So, Brad, you don't like the previous one with the eagle
I'm not
on
a big fan of the whole eagle thing.
Oh.
That part was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, but here's the thing. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It looked like a government thing to me. And maybe that's the difference. Is it felt like you were flying on, you're looking at a government airplane. Yeah, and I just didn't have that personal touch. And this is really well done. Yeah. It's my own opinion, anyway.
I will say I do like it. It's nice. And you also have one too. Was Kevin?
We all have the models. Yeah. So I mean, I said I needed some models for the background of the show, so I had to buy an A380. So of course I have the Emirates A380 in the mobility livery. This is the Gemini Jets 1 in 200 scale. So we got that one. But let me get it so I make sure I don't drop it here.
Got a little weight to it.
Yes, indeed it does. And the BOAC British Airways 747-400.
Wow.
Now both of these planes. Now I was talking about, I can't remember who asked me the other day. I think it was Alvanor, or they were letting me decide on what plane they should get. And I said, here's the thing, like both these planes are special to me because both these planes I have video of, many videos, 4K videos of these two planes. And so there's a connection for me with these models. And I think that's just my opinion. Like, if you're looking at a model and you can't decide what, maybe it's one model that you've witnessed in person, or that's where I stand on it. I mean, that's how I buy the models, which is why I need to still buy the ANA 777 and the BB-8 livery before it's sold out.
You still didn't pre-order?
I have not. I have been extremely busy.
Controlled shopping there, Kevin.
I just need to do that. And of course, Brad, you splurged just a little bit. What did you end up getting there?
So actually, it's a really interesting point, Kevin, because before I had just kind of been, but before I mean 20 plus years ago, I had sort of been collecting models that I just thought were interesting, or my favorite airline at the time, which was Continental. And then when I started working in the industry, most of my models were coming from work, basically. Just things that I had collected over time that were given to me as gifts or just handed out to people. So maybe at some point I'll drag some of these out, because they're actually things that you can't really find elsewhere anymore, especially from a regional level. So that's kind of interesting. But then when we started the whole Easy Toys thing, I was like, I really I want to get back to thinking about some of the planes that were important to me, like growing up. And things that people may have heard the story. Like I got into aviation sitting on my balcony in our apartment building in Cairo, Egypt, when I was a kid, and got to see a lot of the planes like landing there. And the other planes that became very important to me were the ones that, don't get me wrong, I loved being there. It was a very formative experience, but it wasn't very homey, right? And so it was nice to be able to go to places like the UK or to come home and kind of experience that again. And so one of the planes that was a sort of a regular ride for us was the British Airways L-1011. And I was noticing on the Easy Toys site that they actually had the British Airways L-1011 and the early 80s livery, which would have been right about the same time. I'm going to do a little ASMR. I'm going to open the box.
Yes.
What's in here? Ooh, there's a model. No. So anyway, but no. So I was like, you know what? They have these 1/400s of these TriStars in this British livery. That was my first ride from Cairo back to London and such. And I was like, I need to get one to try it.
The Negus.
This is fantastic. This is amazing. I have not opened this yet. I am kind of flabbergasted at how perfect it is. I mean, I have some 1/500 diecasts. I don't have any 1/400s, and this is really well done. This is made by let's see, Loch Ness Models, who I've actually never heard of before.
Loch Ness, interesting.
Yeah, but I got this from did get this from Easy Toys, and it is hefty, and it is wow. I had not opened this. Sorry, I'm
excited.
having a moment.
Well,
You talk amongst
excellent.
yourselves.
He's so excited.
Speaking of Easy Toys, we've now partnered with Easy Toys, one of the largest retailers in the world, with all these die-cast models, and we're giving all of you, not even just the members, but every single anybody watching, a viewer here today, giving you a 10% off discount code to be used there at checkout. Just enter Easy Airline, that's all one word, Echo Zulu Airline, for your 10% off discount code, and that can be used there at easytoys.com. So shop away.
I mean, I cannot get over it. I'm sorry. Look how shiny it is. Look, can you see how shiny this thing is?
Don't break it,
actually. Look at the nacelle on the number 2 engine. It's reflecting light. This is incredible. I'll be a minute.
It's like a kid in the candy store again. Axel RC with the $2 tip. Thank you so much. This is great info here. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your awesome support. We have another one. Longtime viewer, longtime supporter, Alpha Bravo. The $9.99 tip here today. Thank you so much, Alpha Bravo. Says, love how you all have embraced the airplane model collecting hobby and community. Brandon's unboxings are always a highlight. And I feel, oh, look at that.
Whoa, what is that?
What do you have there?
Come on.
Thank you so much, Alpha Bravo. He's trying to upstage you. He's upstaging Mr. EP. Look at that.
We're having a British day. Uh-oh, is that copyright?
What?
If there's one government you don't want coming after you.
No, well, I just paid them a lot of money to ship a model too. Vlad with a $4.99 super chat as well. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Kevin, what if you pre-order that ANA BB-8 777 live right now on the Sky Lounge?
Ooh, that pressure.
Is this peer pressure?
That is pressure. Jeez,
there are
Vlad.
559 people watching.
So is that a new game where you do a deck of models and you try to outdo yourself with one model at a time? And you have some strategy to it? Have we just created a new hobby and game?
Yeah, he just raised me a 747 and the old Negus scheme.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see what we can do here. All right, so we're officially on the Easy Toys.
Can you show us
want
the
that
credit card number
nice and big for all of us to see?
Yep.
I was going to say, we're all going to see that.
Right, I think I have to ANA, right?
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Now, you know what? I did this earlier, and I didn't realize that JC Wings came out with a 1 in 400 scale of that model. Actually, they are coming out with it. It's on pre-order. But there was one.
Wow.
See, that's the pre-order. That's the JC Wings 1 in 400th.
The only thing that can make this more interesting is some more happy birthday.
Oh yeah, Kevin's always talking about how we're pushing the boundaries of aviation live streams. I mean, you've never seen anything like this. Okay,
for sure.
I do have to say that you just passed what I think is the most beautiful airplane ever. It's right there. That ANA Elton 11 with like the old Leonardo da Vinci logo on the tail. Oh, that thing is
beautiful.
Perfection.
This one.
Yeah. Look, it's okay. Let's talk about liveries for a second. And for all the airline executives that are watching, because I'm sure there are many. Okay, there's three things here that stand out. Number one, you've got a nice contrast between the gray fuselage and the white fuselage. We don't need all white. We can have more than one color on the fuselage. Number two, sheet lines are in. They never go out of style. So that blue line, that needs to be there. And then you see that we use nice bright colors, but they're also not highlighter yellow and or bright orange. They're bright without being annoying.
And don't forget, it has a boopable snoot.
It does have a boopable snoot.
Oh, yes.
And the bonus, this to me is the most important thing for an airline, and it has to do with the way that I just things that stick in my mind from traveling internationally, especially as a kid, as a teenager, and in college, is like if you think you're landing at some far-flung place late at night, And the first thing you see as you're on the bus back to the terminal is this field of beautiful large airplanes, and the logo lights on the tail are all lit up, and they have this beautiful logo on there, and you know exactly who it is without having, it's not messy, it's not fussy, there's not a whole lot to it, but it's like just a logo that's being pointed out there, and it's like all of these representatives from all of these different countries are all showing up at this airport late at night. Yes, that's what I would like to see more of. So, anyway, that's just me.
Yes. Well, all right. So, real quick, Jeff and Moss with a $7.57 tip here today, as I'm going to break one of my models and I'm going to have to replace it. Brandon, Etihad just brought back their A350-1000s after 2 years in storage. They should be flying by June and July. Now, what do you think the chances of us getting them back here at LAX is? I mean, they could basically have written off LAX. I mean, they said that they won't be back, but never say never, right?
Yeah.
The issue with the ME3, and maybe Nick has more information here, or at least speculation. We're going into rampant speculation mode here. There are some significant political issues in the Gulf region right now, and there might be one more airline than there really needs to be. And Etihad has a problem that the others don't necessarily, which is some political and, they've had drone attacks and missiles and things like that pointed at Abu Dhabi, which is not good. So in my mind, Etihad's got some other things cooking on the fryer right now that they need to get to settle down. And then the next question is, is there demand for such a thing when there's so much capacity in the first place? That being said, I want them back, but yeah. Nick, do you have anything?
Yeah, I would just say I hope they come back for the sake of that livery. It's very nice, especially with those the tessellation triangle with the different shades of gold. I agree with your comments earlier, being one of the more interesting and unique liveries out there. Very nice. So I'll only comment on the aesthetics of it. And
Did you find it, Kevin? Did you find it, Kevin, or did they?
Did I find it? Oh well, yeah. I'll keep it up as a friendly reminder when I close up the show here today. It'll be staring at me in the face. But actually, you know what? I'm just looking at it. I see a bunch of 1 in 400 scales, but I don't see the 1 in 200. So does that mean it's already sold out? Am I too late?
Oh. So in the chat, Jeff and Mass is saying, "I will sell you mine for $2,000." I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, Jeff. I had to do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
so Rudy, back to Rudy. Rudy's been singing up a storm here today, but let's check in with
Apparently.
Rudy. Been working a lot. He's a teacher by the day. He's been spending a lot of time with us here on the show. Thank you so much, Rudy. You'll be with us tomorrow for the big show.
Yes, I'll be with you, Kevin, tomorrow for the big Sunday show. And it's yes. So you want to tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so we're kind of just changing it up every week. So last week he was at the garage. The week before that he was at the In-N-Out Burger. This week he's going to be standing there helping me out there at the Imperial Hill. So just changing it up a little bit. Yeah, so we won't have dual cam tomorrow, but it's going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to it. So, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Yeah, we won't have dual cam, but we just added the H Hotel, which now includes both sides of the airport. I mean, that's just such a magical location. So, we're certainly...
And it doesn't end there. I think we don't have a lot to say about it yet, but let's just say that they have been a joy to work with, and they are bending over backwards to try to make even more sort of technological boundaries help work for us. So we have nothing there yet, but let's just say it's all kind of cooking. That Kevin's not giving up with just, here's the deck, here you go. It doesn't end there, and it could get even better.
Yes, and we want to point out that we are...
Cam is coming?
Yeah, swimming. Yes. And a bar and grill on the top as well. Now,
Yep.
Very nice.
It's the Brad Speedo cam.
Yeah, we want to make sure that everyone understands this. We are the exclusive broadcasters there at the H Hotel on top of that rooftop. So we do have the exclusive broadcasting rights to that. So thanks to everyone at the H Hotel. Fantastic group and a fantastic hotel. So it's right down the street from where we are right now, where I am right now. So
It's a nice hotel, very well maintained, very clean. I mean, I've seen the rooms, very nice. So it's a nice hotel.
and they have
And
a
the other
coffee
thing, too,
bean
is-
in it as well.
Yeah. Oh, a coffee bean and tea leaf in the first floor.
And Krispy
yes.
Kreme.
Oh, yes.
Which also has
And-
Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yes.
Yes.
The other thing too is people might be a little concerned. Like, I mean, I personally like chains, hotel chains, because I like knowing that like there's standards for quality and things like that. And a lot of people like boutique hotels. This is actually both. The H is not an independent company. It's actually owned by Hilton. And I think actually that's where H comes from, is from Hilton. So you're basically getting the best of both worlds there. And that's also why I wanted to bring it up, is because the link for the members actually directs you to a Hilton site. And you're like, well, why the heck is it taking me to Hilton if I want to stay at the H? I don't want to stay at the Hilton. It's a Hilton property. It's their curio collection or whatever. And in fact, there are two, Kevin's mentioned this a bunch of times. There are actually two hotels on the property there. One is the Homewood Suites and one is the H Hotel. And just very, very briefly, my family and I have stayed at the Homewood side several times. And this last time we stayed there, I kind of had to beg and plead to be able to go up to the deck, staying on the Homewood side. They've made it exclusively for the H side. So if you're looking at both and you're thinking, oh, this would be fine to go on the Homewood, you probably want to do the H side because that will guarantee that you'll have access up there.
Yeah, and the H Hotel, I mean, they have those awesome views of LAX as well. So
Yep.
And it's within walking
Excellent.
distance of the airport too, especially if you're
Oh, yeah.
flying into Terminal 1 or Terminal 2,
Right.
especially.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And
it's
in and out.
Yeah, it's walkable. So
yes.
if you are so inclined to fly out to Los Angeles just to watch airplanes, it's a fantastic place as a home base to watch planes, and it's walkable. You could do it without a car if you wanted to, and you can see how big I am. I can do it with no problem. So it's pretty good.
Chris with his camera back with another super chat here today. Also one of our Diamond members. Thank you so much, Chris. Remember, the after party next weekend is in my room at the H. That's right. Chris is in town
Sounds
next
good.
week. Forward
We're
to your trip
definitely
here.
We're
That
definitely
reminds me, Kevin, where'd the music go?
Yes. You know what? I forgot to pot it back up. So
It's all right.
this is the official first Sky Lounge with no music, but I think we got along with that all right. Mary Wright, back with another super chat. Thank you so much. Pipe us up on their TVs and get some fun going on. All right. Some music? No. All right. Thank you so much, Mary. And our friend Amy, the $2 super chat, also one of our YouTube members. Love the Sky Lounge. Thanks for the great show. Well, thank you, Amy. She was in town as well. A lot of people coming into town and coming out and plane spotting with Rudy and I.
Yes.
We love it.
And I know you've
When
mentioned
is-
it, but the public does need to know that Amy was instrumental in making this happen with the H Hotel.
Absolutely.
We don't need to go into details, but let's just say that she was willing to go above and beyond for us and really got us in touch with who we needed to talk to. And
Absolutely.
so she has a lot to do with this.
Yes,
It was all
thank you so
perfect
much,
timing.
Amy.
Thank you so much.
And Michael with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Michael. Also one of our YouTube members. That Nighthawk and reverse ops on the H was really spectacular. Keep up the great work, Kevin and crew. I'm telling you, that was for the record books. I mean, new views on top of the H Hotel, and then all of a sudden you pull out Nighthawk and they go into reverse ops. I mean, I remember I was just in awe because I've never been up there on top of the rooftop with the planes literally flying at me. I mean, it was just something I have.
That was unreal.
That
That
was
was
my first time
super cool.
experiencing it. Yeah, yeah.
Especially the
I'm
heavies.
glad- Oh,
You had
yeah.
a 747, at least one.
Yes.
On the
Yes.
north side.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling
Reverse
Rudy,
swoop.
even the 737s looked good. I mean,
Yeah.
everything looked good taken off. It was just
Oh,
amazing.
and you
I'm
and
so
I were
glad
talking
that.
about this. You and I were talking about this, and if everybody can go back and watch the evening and take a look at this again, you can actually see red lights in the wheel wells of these heavy
yeah.
planes that are
Yeah.
taking off.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was
Yeah,
magic.
The
It was
Nighthawk
awesome.
is amazing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll do it again. Well, we'll be up at the H Hotel, but I mean, we're kind of getting late in the year for reverse ops, so you never know. Could happen again. John Gibson, always supporting the channel with a $5 super chat. Also one of our Diamond members. Thank you so much, John. Hopefully you're having a great Saturday. And one more here. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support. 90 Soul 80s Mind with a $1.99 super chat says hi from Tampa. We just got the Edelweiss A340. You rock.
Edelweiss.
See, I knew I was going to say that wrong. We just talked about that. We just talked about that the other night, didn't we, Rudy?
Yes, we did.
We did. It's amazing. Well, now that
Nick
is
is
a
just
sight to
shaking
see.
his head.
I just can't even. You got my name on here, and you're doing things like that. That's frustrating. If you guys, someone
It's
mentioned
just- it's me.
facetiously an after party earlier. In all seriousness, we will be sponsoring an after party called the Donuts on the Deck, which is on the Sunday morning, the
Oh,
last
yes.
event of Spot LAX. If you want to join us for donuts up there, you have to be staying at the hotel as part of that event, of course.
Right.
But something to
Right.
look forward to if you happen to be in town for Spot LAX.
That
I
is
will
a great
feed you
weekend.
Delicious donuts. So
Can I
Except-
sing Edelweiss up to you on
No,
the deck?
that is strictly forbidden, or verboten, as you would say, Brad.
And Aviation Mike with a $4.99 super chat, also one of our Diamond members. It was an amazing evening. What a great Sky Lounge. Thank you so much, Mike. Real quick, Nick, you actually, our friends from Australia just went to Honolulu, and you also went to Honolulu as well.
Yes. Yeah, I do not have my pile of photos to present from that, but yes, I can confirm that Hawaii is still a tropical paradise. And
Yeah.
cannot recommend it highly enough. So
Excellent. So everyone would love to know, who did you fly with? What airplane? Tell us all about
yes,
it.
of course. So I've been based in Minneapolis, of course. So we've was fortunate to have a friend who hooked us up with some reward tickets. So in order to meet all of the qualifications for those, we couldn't take the nonstop. We flew Minneapolis to Salt Lake City on a Delta A321, and then Salt Lake City to Honolulu on an A330-300, and then the same in reverse. It was very fun. It was my first time experiencing an actual Sky Lounge, the Delta Club in Salt Lake City. Amazing. So yes, cannot recommend that highly enough. If you have the ability to do that, it certainly made the layover a lot more interesting and fun. So no complaints there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I actually have a question. I guess we all know who. I got my mom watching the Sky Lounges now. She every Saturday she's like, send me the link, send me the link. So the question was actually for Gabby, but I'm gonna direct it to everybody. I know Kevin. I know a little bit about your fear of heights, right? So, but I guess my mother would like to know, for everybody who wants to chime in, what advice would you give her, or let's see, what advice would you give to someone who has a fear of flying? How do you overcome it? And for Gabby, and then whoever wants to chime in, like, how do you do it with no fear? Like how do you guys do it? Like, she wants to know.
In terms of heights, right?
Well, let me say, question for Gabby from Mexico. What advice would she give to people who have a little fear of flying? She says she has no fear, so I direct it to everybody. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, talking about that fear that, well, I know many people, well, yeah, there are many people that fear flying. Well, one day, one of my students told me that she, especially on the landing and takeoff, she was very, very afraid of that, right? And that the family gave some advices about, listening to music or doing some like meditation or something the night before at home or something, and that it was very useful for her. And she told me that she takes a kind of natural herbal or herbal pills or something like that to avoid getting like very scared, right? But
Mhm.
for many people, it's more than that because they get very very scared. I had my aunt gets really really scared, and the ears start like hurting and whatever. So just talk to her, try to calm her down, and well, the family get together and try to help like during the flight or whatever, and just try to calm the people down, because if we don't confront the fears, well, we're never gonna do anything. So I think it's very difficult for many people, but well, there are maybe some possible things they can do to fly and feel well better during
Yeah,
the while they are on board.
Yeah.
of course.
That's what I can say. But yeah, I know many that fear flying. Yeah.
I think
My
the more you do it
passion,
as well. Yeah.
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 my passion for aviation actually stemmed from a fear of flying, and so what I started doing is I watched a lot of YouTube videos, specifically with Fly with Captain Joe. He has a lot of very informational videos that help to explain all the different sounds, the sensations that we feel when we're on an airplane, and that really seemed to put me at ease. The other thing I would suggest is informing your flight attendant, whoever is kind of walking up and down your area. Let them know, hey, I'm a nervous flyer, I'm a little nervous today, and they will most likely check up on you to make sure you're doing okay. And sometimes that just helps to calm your nerves.
Yeah.
Yep. And surprisingly enough, I have thoughts. Um, so so the first thing to keep in mind is this, and I don't want to put too fine of a point on it, but in reality, this is the truth. You will not die in an airplane crash. Like you
Mhm.
won't. You just won't. Like
Mhm.
like the of the bazillions of people on this planet, an extremely extraordinarily small number of them will meet that fate. The
Mhm.
chances of you being one of them, so remote, it's not even really worth considering. So
Mhm. Mhm.
it's this, if you think about it in that mindset, this will not happen to you because it won't. That's the first thing that might help.
Mhm.
The second thing I would say is it is completely natural to feel a little weird about being in a metal tube 7 miles in the sky going 500 miles per hour.
Mhm.
I get it. Like it makes perfect sense. So you are not weird or a problem or annoying or wimpy or anything like that because you might be concerned about flying. It
Mhm.
makes perfect sense that you would have these concerns.
Mhm.
Probably the other thing I'll say, and I hate throwing statistics out there. That's why I like to say you won't pass away on an airplane. I think that's more like solid. And but the I've been working in this industry for 22 years now. I have dispatched and worked with so many flights I cannot even count them. I We're probably in the tens, if not up to hundreds of thousands by now that I personally have had a hand in over the past 22 years. And I have never had lost one. My coworkers haven't lost one. Like, this is how rare it is. We do this for years and years and years. And I think Rudy mentioned this too one time. When you think about, like, all we see these planes at LAX, the ones we see are generally ones that we've seen before. And then the
Mhm.
time that we've seen them one time and we see them the next time, they've flown 40 or 50 different places around the country or around the world. And so you're talking about an extremely, extremely safe endeavor. Now,
Yeah.
that the last thing I'll say, and this is actually something that somebody had pointed out to me, and I think it really is really interesting because it's again a sort of a visualization. Is that, when you stick your arm out the car window when you're driving and you're going 60 and your arm just like one little tiny thing, your arm's like or like flopping around and things like that, and it's actually kind of hard to move your arm when you get going fast enough, right? Well, think of that times 10, or time in and think of how much wind is going over those wings, what ends up happening is this is where you see the parallels between flying and between things in the water, because the air basically turns into the invisible water up there. It is the consistency of gelatin that the airplane is riding along on. And so it is literally impossible for the thing to just go, I'm done. Like, it's not going to happen. It is like on a solid cushion of air. And hopefully that mindset that you're floating on Jello might be a little thing that you can take in the airplane with you to help you think of, where you are.
Excellent.
You hear that, Mom?
Very well said there, Brad.
Alpha Bravo back with another $4.99 tip. The other great thing about the view from the H is you can really see all the last-minute corrections the pilots make on final approach to the 2-4s. Did you guys notice that the other day?
I can't wait to stay there. I can't wait to book a room there the next time we come down for sure.
I was
You're
actually
gonna love it.
I was
real
actually
quick, Martin V, one of our Martin V, one of our diamond members with a seven. I'm going to ruin my models here. The $7.77 tip here today. Also one of our diamond members. Amazing Sky Lounge today, everyone. Very informative information given today by everyone. Well, thank you so much. I think Mr. Brad Ward wins the award for Mr. Professor here today.
So, Kevin, there have been,
Yes.
I know we're winding down here, and there have been a multitude of requests in the chat. And I had one more thing to say anyway, but do you want to go get Mr. Samuel so the world can see him?
Yes.
The world wants to
Absolutely.
see him. So maybe
Yes.
while you're doing that, I'll share my final thoughts here.
All right.
So I do want to thank I've kind of been watching the chat. Thank you for adhering to my request to keeping things on the up and up while we're trying to discuss the Antonov. That's really important, and it speaks well to the community here, and I really, really, really thank you for that. Yeah, I think that's all I had. I just wanted to say thanks for that, and thanks for everybody for participating.
There he is.
All right. There's Sammy. You can see he's doing well. Of course, now he's coughing. That is a heart condition. So
Poor Sammy.
yes, keeping me up all throughout the course of the night. But what are you gonna do? All right. All right. Well,
I think I just saw the UPS truck pull up.
Mail time.
Here comes your model. Here comes your model. And yes, we are winding down the show, but real quick, Bruce City Chaser back with another $5 super chat here today. Thank you so much. Hi all, greeting from Milwaukee. Just wanted to say thanks to all the hard work of all the cam operators do to make it look good. Not so easy out at all. That would be me and Rudy and Brandon and yes. Oh look. That's the first time we've seen Nick's dog.
This is Bella. She's we've got a thunderstorm coming through, so she needs some extra.
Oh.
Hello, Bella.
Hello. All right.
Lovely.
Sammy's
like
now
Jell-O,
heading
Bella.
toward the Sammy's heading toward the door, which means Dad, I gotta go. So yes. All right. Well, with that, Rudy, do you want to one last time sing happy birthday to all of our birthdays? A lot of people having birthdays in the month of March. Amazing.
Can you do it in Espanol this time?
Oh.
I can help you.
Okay, Gabby's gonna help.
Yes. There you go.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Te deseamos todos. Tu familia ABL. Oh my God.
Yay!
Great job, everyone. Good job, you guys. Awesome. All right. Well,
Thank you,
with
Gavin.
that, I think we are going to end the show here today. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another edition of Sky Lounge. Tomorrow is our big show once again outside LAX, starting at 7 a.m. California time. I'll be out there. Rudy will join me there at the Hill. And then next week, We take the show on the road back to Phoenix, Arizona, Wednesday and Thursday there in Phoenix. And we actually, I think on Wednesday, we might actually try a new spot there at Phoenix. And then we also are taking the Nighthawk with us as well. So the first time we will do Nighthawk in Phoenix. So we look forward to that. Great sunsets there in Phoenix. And then we'll come back the next week. We'll have much more action here at LAX, including another trip up to the H Hotel. So much more to come. Thank you all for your awesome support of the channel as always. And thank you all for tuning in and keeping us company here.
Is the Western music coming?
Yes, it is. And playing Crazy Mikey with a $9.99 super chat. Also one of our YouTube members. Another great Sky Lounge. Take care, all. You take care as well. Y'all have a good Saturday night.
And somebody had mentioned somebody from San Diego had asked you to come down there. And since we're talking about a schedule, we are in March. And so March 30th will be the day that Kevin should be back down airside in San Diego.
Airside access
welcome
once
the
again.
Lufthansa A350.
Nice.
Yes. So much more great action to come here on the channel. We're always looking at ways to improve the product. Always. So much stuff going on behind the scenes.
Speaking of improving the product, Kevin, new JetTip app, this update came up.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations on that. We love the app. Always keeping us up to date. Make sure to go download JetTip, the app there on Google Play and the Apple App Store. I finally got that correct there, Nick, because I was telling everybody to go to the Apple Store.
Go to the Apple Store and get it.
Yeah, just walk into the Apple Store and ask for the JetTip app.
I want the JetTip!
Scratching their head. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. Brad, Nick, Rudy, Gabby, Smee, Brandon, and our special guest, Isaac, who had to leave about 45 minutes ago. Thank you all for being a part of the show here today. And until next time. And I also want to give a shout out to our two winners, Becky England, our new Diamond of the Month, and Joseph Ratzer, one of our mods here on the channel, a Platinum winner. Congratulations to you guys.
Yes.
All right. With that, we end the show. So thank you guys for all tuning in. We'll end the show with some of your comments. All right. Thanks you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow for the big show back at LAX. Dun, dun. Now, how many people have the song in their head after the show ends? I've heard that many times as well.
Oh, dude, my wife does, and she doesn't even watch very often.
I fall asleep to it every night.
Is it this one or the other one? Okay.
Oh, it's the other one.
Oh, well, then we might have to play the other one. Michelle Johnson with the $7.47 tip, also one of our Diamond members. Always support the channel. Thanks all. Happy BDA6S. What does that stand for? Birthday?
I think I know.
The kids, you don't even know what they're saying.
6 and Y are very, very close to each other.
I was just going to say that.
All right. Well, now this is a song. Now your wife's going to start singing it.
Yes.
Let's go.
There's my instrument, Rudy. Me right there.
All right, so real quick, while we're playing out the music here, of course, if you're a member of the channel, and if you're coming to LAX and you need a hotel, make sure to use the H Hotel discount code if you're a member of the channel. That's on the membership tab on the YouTube page. And go check out Easy Toys for your 10% off discount. They're at easytoys.com, and that's it. All right.
Aloha.
You all have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Good
Bye.
night.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
Happy birthday. Yes. Bye-bye.
Yes.